Understanding EHCPs, what every teacher needs to know. Imagine you've just been handed a document, maybe 30, 40 pages long with a child's name on the front. You flick through it, medical terms, legal language, funding references, and someone expects you to know what it all means by Monday morning. Sound familiar? Hi, I'm Gavin and this is Excell Connect. We work with teachers and teaching assistants across North Wales, Chester, the Wirral and Shropshire every single day. And one of the things we hear most often is this: what actually is an EHCP and what does it mean for me? So today we're going to answer that properly. No jargon, no waffle, just everything you need to know. This is part one. We're covering what an EHCP is, what every section means from A to K, and what it means in practice for you as the teacher. Part two is all about your classroom. Practical strategies, annual reviews, working with your TA. The link is in the description. Right, let's start at the beginning. What is an EHCP? EHCP stands for Education, Health and Care Plan. It is a legal document, and that matters because legal documents carry real obligations for schools, for local authorities and for you. An EHCP is designed for children and young people from birth right up to the age of 25. It's issued when a child has needs that go significantly beyond what a school can meet through standard SEN support alone. It's not for every child who finds things difficult. Only a small percentage of pupils should have one. It's a recognition of complex, significant need. The clue is in the name: education, health, care. An EHCP doesn't just look at learning, it brings together schools, health services and social care to make sure every part of that child's life is understood and supported. Those needs can sit in any of the four recognised areas: cognition and learning, communication and interaction, social, emotional and mental health or SEMH, physical and sensory needs, and most children with an EHCP will have needs across more than one of those areas. Needs rarely sit neatly in one box. The sections A to K. An EHCP is divided into sections A through to K. Let me walk you through each one so you know exactly what you're looking at. Section A. This is the child's voice. Personal details, yes, but more importantly, it captures what the child says about their own needs, their feelings and what helps them. Parents and carers contribute here too. It's a reminder that behind every plan is a person. Section B, a summary of the child's needs across all four areas, plus strengths and difficulties around independence and life skills. This section is gold for classroom teachers. It tells you who this child is and what they find hard, and what they're good at. We'll come back to this in part two. Section C, any health needs that directly relate to their SEN. Epilepsy, physical health conditions, sensory processing difficulties, anything that affects their education because of their health. Section D, social care needs. Needs identified through the EHC assessment that fall under legislation for disabled children and young people. The key takeaway: social care is in the plan, not bolted on afterwards. Section E, the long-term outcomes the plan is working toward, broken down by key stage. This answers the question: what are we trying to help this child achieve, and by when? These outcomes are reviewed every year. Section F, the legally binding section. This is where the provisions, the specific support and interventions are written down. Not should be delivered, must be delivered. This section determines how much additional funding a school receives. It's also what a school uses to assess whether they can meet a child's needs. Teachers, you need to know this section. Section G, health provisions required to support the outcomes in Section E. Speech and language therapy, occupational therapy, physiotherapy. If it's health-led and tied to their SEN outcomes, it lives here. Section H, two parts. H1 covers social care provision, things like residential and short breaks. H2 covers other social care provision arising from the child's learning difficulties or disabilities, separate from H1. Section I. This names the school or type of setting that will best meet the child's needs. Once a school is named in Section I, they are legally responsible for delivering everything outlined in Section F. That's a significant commitment for any school to make. Section J, personal budget. This is when a parent takes ownership of the funding allocated through EHCP, choosing to commission support directly. Section K, the evidence trail. All the assessments, reports and documentation that underpins the EHCP. EP reports, SALT assessments, OT reports, everything that was used to build the plan. What does it actually mean in practice? Now, here's where I want to challenge a really common misconception. An EHCP is not a guarantee of full-time, one-to-one support. Let me say that again. An EHCP does not mean a TA should be glued to that child for every lesson of every day. An EHCP means this child has significant needs that require personalised provision beyond what's ordinarily available. That provision might sometimes include TA support, but it doesn't have to. And over-reliance on adult support can actually undermine a child's independence if it's not carefully managed. There is still an expectation that the child will access your classroom with reasonable adjustments and inclusive practice. EHCP builds on top of that. It doesn't replace it. And one more thing, an EHCP is not something only the SENCO owns. It is a working document for everyone who supports that child, including you. It should guide your teaching, it should guide your planning, it should guide your conversations about that pupil. It should not be something you glance at in September and then never think about again. Coming up in part 2. In part 2, we're going deeper. The 3 sections that matter the most for your day-to-day teaching. Your role in annual reviews, 6 practical classroom strategies that support your EHCP pupils and benefit everyone you teach, and how to get the best from your TA. Subscribe and hit the bell so that you don't miss it. And if you're a teacher or TA looking for your next role in North Wales, Chester, the Wirral or Shropshire, we'd love to hear from you. The link is in the description. See you in part 2.